All right, well, let's get into it for episode 89 of the GGG Podcast special Gamescom edition coming out of Germany this morning. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. Joining me, as always, is Phil. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. And if you're listening to the audio only version on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, follow us over there as well. All right, Phil, I just want to get rolling because so many things were announced today. And for once, something broke on a Tuesday, which is the day we usually record, as opposed to breaking on a Wednesday or a Thursday or something, so we can actually report on some very hot, fresh news today. Are you excited?
I'm gonna say something that maybe might get me in some trouble, but thank God for Germany. Oh, okay, no, we're in 2025. It's not World War II. We're cool. Everything's fine.
Yes. I'll add in the studio laugh in that.
There you go. Thank you. Perfect.
But before we get into everything, Phil, I think we were just talking about the Battlefield 6 beta a little bit. That's primarily what we've been playing. I've started up a server for V Rising for my friends to get back on. I've been talking about it for a long time, and I finally did it. So I've been playing that quite a bit. But the Battlefield 6 beta, you got a chance to actually sink your teeth into a little bit. How did you feel about it?
Very good. I felt very, very good. Like, it's the time to kill felt right. The chaos, the things crumbling felt right. The tactics felt perfect. Like, you could kind of sit somewhere and just shoot people from an inconvenient position, and you would get a lot of kills. Like, just being a little bit smart and creative with how you played opened up a lot of doors. And you and I got to play, so we had a nice little. We got to be tactical and be like, all right, let's both go to this point, which is so handy in this type of game. We got to get a full squad going, but that's the only benefit. The revive is great. The revive is so cool that you can grab someone on your squad and just pull them and bring them back.
Absolutely. I love that. It's a great mechanic that they added. It's really all they added aside from futzing with the loadouts and whatnot. But yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. I'm probably going to pick it up. It sounded like you were probably going to pick it up as well. So yeah. All right, well, good. I'm excited to play it. But unfortunately, the beta has officially ended if you're listening to this podcast. So sorry about that. But if you are super itching for some Battlefield in the meantime, lucky for you, Electronic Arts said, hey, we're going to drop a free update for Battlefield 2042. And if you play this free update, because it has a free battle pass that you can play through, if you play through it, you can actually unlock rewards for Battlefield 6. So if you're so deep into Battlefield, you're like, I got to keep playing something, go for 2042, I guess, because you can start earning progression and whatnot. So that's nice.
Yeah, and it'll help you stem your hunger for more Battlefield.
Yes, and appreciate Battlefield 6 over Battlefield 2042. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. We have one major game release this week, and that is Sword of the Sea. We've talked about it a little bit on this show. It is from the company that brought us Journey, one of IGN's Game of the Years back in the day. So a very artistic studio. They've also made games like Abzu and Flower, and there's another game he played as an archer. I think it was an early launch title for the PlayStation 5. Boundless.
It was an early maybe Boundless. It also you play it on your iPhone, which was weird.
Oh no, that's a different one. That's Echo, I think, or something like that.
Maybe.
I know
an archer and you're going through fields, right?
Yeah, you can play it on your phone.
I gotta look at it. I'm pretty sure.
What?
What's the name of the studio again?
Let's see. Sword of the Sea Studio. Giant Squid.
Giant Squid. Okay, hold on. Giant Squid. This is great radio. Giant Squid Studios. show me your games. Show me your the Pathless. And the
Pathless.
Pathless was available on iOS. Launched the
Wow.
same day. Yeah.
Okay. I did not know that. Right on.
I think it was Apple was like, look, we could put games on here. We promise. And then your phone's dead in like a half of a minute of gameplay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, great studio, and the game's available on the PS Plus Extra catalog. So if you have that, which I feel like is kind of like having Game Pass, just you should get it.
Yeah.
It'll be a free game for you. It looks really cool, vibey exploration game. I feel like the games, like, they have gameplay in the sense that you are controlling the character. It feels very visceral, and like everything that you're doing like feels good. But it's not like an abundant amount of puzzle solving. Probably next to no combat. It's just like a nice vibey experience that will make you feel something. And this company, Giant Squid, is especially good at that.
Yeah. I think it's a great. It looks like an absolutely killer vibe. I've seen some on the Metacritic right now. I think it's sitting at an 89, which is pretty good. It's probably not the masterpiece that Journey was, but I don't know that I need it to be. Some of the more complainy reviews were like, I thought this was going to be like a skateboarding game. And I'm like, I think you're missing the point, my guy. It's not about, this doesn't seem like a game where it's like, oh, you got to do the best trick to score the most points.
The game's pretty cool, but I can't play as any other skaters besides Bob Burnquist, who is canonically the main character from Sword of the Sea, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. No, it really does look like a blast. These guys make just beautiful artistic landscapes, so or just levels that take you through them. So
yeah, so
excited.
I'm excited to
play
play
this
it. I got it downloaded on my PlayStation as we speak, so I'll probably be playing that later today. All right, let's get into all of the Gamescom announcements that took place today. So starting off, Silksong was the first thing that we saw on the Gamescom live stage, and it was confirmed that it is going to be coming out this year, as much as everybody thought it would not be coming out this year. And we got a gameplay. Oh, Phil's winking. Phil doesn't believe it.
No, I do. I just think it's very funny.
It is funny. You know what's really funny about it is that there was like a gameplay teaser that played in the background behind Jeff Keighley during the live show presentation, but we didn't really get like a trailer.
Yeah, that's coming later this week, apparently.
Yes, I guess so. But if you are at Gamescom in Germany, you can play Hollow Knight Silksong, so that's very exciting. And it seems like, all right, it's finally happening. I know a lot of people were itching to get their hands on this game. So I think that was a good way to start the show.
I think a really excellent way to kind of show everyone, like, okay, this one's going to be actually where the games are at. We're going to show you Silksong. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Here's, like, I feel like a really crappy version of this would have been like 10 seconds of Silksong gameplay. Actually, maybe it's close to that. But like even less Silksong gameplay, or just like hints about Silksong. Because at this point, they got to put up or shut up with that game. Like, they're... Not to say that Hollow Knight will ever lose traction, but I think the appeal of Hollow Knight and its successor will lose some traction because of just people get hope fatigue. Like,
yes.
Oh, it's coming out. Whatever. It's coming out. And it just gets deeper and deeper to like, whatever.
Yeah. So I really hope that it does come out this year, like they say it is. But we're just gonna have to see. Let's see about that announcement later this week, hopefully, or hopefully
Thursday, allegedly.
Yeah, hopefully it's more than just a trailer. It's a trailer with a specific date. That would be fantastic. Moving right along, the next game they showed was Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I know Call of Duty is being crapped on by everybody playing Battlefield over the last 2 weeks. So that was exciting to see. They showed off a lot about the campaign in the game primarily, and then they talked about a new mode, sort of. It's called the End Game, and it is a PvE multiplayer experience where, it can be like just COD zombies, but it can be a multitude of different enemies as well. It kind of reminded me of more of like a free-formed like firefight or like a horde mode. So it seems like a modified zombies where they like, hey, let's give you everything we have in the game, not just the zombie stuff. So that's exciting that they're actually doing something new in that regard. And the trailer for the single player was very like, oh, we're tripping out. There's something supernatural going on, and I think they're using that element to justify, oh, we can just put whatever we want in the game. So
yeah, that is something that I feel like they've been leaning into more. I don't know if you played the last Call of Duty.
No.
I believe it was Black Ops 6. Surprisingly good story.
Mm-hmm.
But there were several moments where your character got drugged and you were like in a trippy place that was kind of like Rapture from BioShock, and you had to get around these zombies and monsters because you were tripping. But you know what? I think if it works for their level design, which looks like it does, like these crazy sort of like falling apart bits of LA and Angola or whatever, sounds cool. I don't know if it's necessarily for me, but they got to figure out something to do because the multiplayer throne is going to be yanked from their grizzled hands come October.
Well, I guess it was smart of them to show like the single player and the PvE stuff then. So.
They showed us a lot of Jake Gyllenhaal's forehead wrinkles, and man, those forehead wrinkles can move a movie. They can move a game. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, rolling right along, Lords of the Fallen 2 has been announced. Kind of a cult classic, sort of. I don't know. Would you call Lords of the Fallen a cult classic? But
first of all, this is Lords of the Fallen 3. Let's be real. This is because Lords of the Fallen came out, and then like a modern gen Lords of the Fallen that was a different game came out, but they just call it Lords of the Fallen.
Right.
This is a sequel to that, which is I'm happy that not all games that are coming out are AAA attached to like some huge name. Like this is just a series that is honestly pumping along, and they're doing it at a decent clip. Like it's not years and years between their games, like From Software or anything. They're just like, no, here's another Lords of the Fallen game. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. But
well, yeah, it looked really cool. I mean, we just really saw a cinematic trailer. So so we didn't get any gameplay, but the cinematic trailer was very bloody, very violent. And it looks like they're cranking that knob up a little bit more. So very cool. We'll see if they release like some gameplay at Gamescom as the week continues to unfold. But yeah, if you're a fan of Lords of the Fallen, good for you. Congratulations.
You made it.
A Sekiro anime is coming. I don't know that I needed this, but Sekiro fans out there, you have an anime, and it looked pretty cool, to be honest.
Speaking of FromSoft, making
exactly.
You know what? I think this probably works for me as an anime more than it does as a game. No, it was a great game, but cool. I'm happy to see that there is. It looks beautiful, looks visually stunning. But I'm not a huge anime guy myself, and I wasn't a huge Sekiro guy myself, so.
So yeah, but very cool, interesting art style. Check it out if you haven't seen it already. And that's really the only thing. I think that, and we'll talk about Fallout in a bit. Fallout was shown. Those are the two things that were non-game things that were there. But
this next bit's very exciting, though.
It is a brand new Lego Batman game. It's Legacy of the Dark Knight. So you're like playing through. It's not necessarily the movies, but they hint at the movie. It kind of is the movies. I think this looked really fun and funny. I think that this also came from the fact that somebody just modded Lego Batman into the Arkham series, and they were like, that would be pretty cute. My only
we could do that.
Yeah, my only problem with this, Phil. My only problem, they did not get Will Arnett to voice Batman. And
bit of a bummer.
I feel like they needed that because whoever is voicing Batman, it's like kind of sounds like a throwaway. It doesn't sound that good. And it's like, I feel like with Lego game, you're trying to go comedic anyway. So just commit to it. So I don't know. Maybe they couldn't afford him, but
no, I think it's probably a budgetary issue, or he's busy tied to his other game franchise. Twisted Metal for some reason. This actually here's the things that I really liked about this trailer. It looks to be recounting the Dark Knight trilogy. additionally the Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson, and just kind of tying it all together, which seems really cool. There's like a whole sequence where you see him talking to Heath Ledger's Joker, and then a sequence where he's chasing down the Penguin, like from the most recent Batman movie. And it's the same sequence where, like, he walks away from an explosion as Penguin's car slips upside down. But it is the Penguin from, like, the old movie, like a Lego version of the Penguin from the old movies, like Danny DeVito. And I guess what also looks interesting is they set it up to look like the combat looks like Arkham. Additionally, like, you're painting bats on walls to blow them up with, like, explosive.
Yep.
It seems like they are making an Arkham game just under the Lego guise.
Yeah.
And if that is the quickest way for us to get a new Arkham game, I'm here for it. For all the guff I gave Lego Horizon Zero Dawn, I do not apologize, but this might make up for it.
Yeah, it looks really fun. And all of the references, they're really using all Batman media to be like, yeah, we're going to make as many references as we can. So, So yeah, that's cool. We did see some gameplay for it. Looked good. Looked very, like you said, looked very much like an Arkham game. So pressing right along, Monster Hunter Wilds is doing a collaboration with Final Fantasy 14.
Again.
Yes, for most of this trailer, we saw nothing new. But I
think they should fix the game, maybe.
They did have an update last week that fixed some PC performance a little bit. But yes, this includes a new mega boss for the players to fight, which I believe is based on something from Final Fantasy XIV. So that is very cool. But I was kind of hoping for a bigger announcement from Monster Hunter Wilds, if I'm being completely honest.
I think rideable chocobos is the best thing that they added. Like, if they didn't add that, that would have been like a huge miss.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy XIV is an interesting one because I know a lot of people who love Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very successful MMO. Like, come on.
It is. I think possibly eclipsing World of Warcraft in some aspects, or maybe like
point,
in the game. But I'm not a huge Final Fantasy guy in general, so it is a crossover that I'm like, oh, cool, new monster. I wonder what the clothes I'm going to make out of it will look like.
Yeah, exactly. What's the armor set? Just show us the armor set. Do you have anything else to say about Monster Hunter Wilds?
Nope.
All right. I got an announcement that I liked, and that is Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 4 is going to be coming out in 2026. I've been playing the Dawn of War series for a very long time. It was the first Warhammer game I ever played. So it's exciting that they're doing a Dawn of War 4. I think Dawn of War 2 was one of the best real-time strategies to come out in its time. I will say Dawn of War 3 was a little bit of a disappointment. So it's making me, a little cautious to get excited for this game, especially like I feel like we also saw the gameplay that they showed at the very end of the trailer in Dawn of War 4. It looked a little choppy. The frame rate wasn't stable. The graphics, I don't know if they looked that good. And there were a decent amount of enemies on screen. So, I'm willing to give it a little bit of grace. But also, there's this part of my brain that's like, it's the next gen now. It's the modern gen where we got PS5, we got Xbox Series X, we got these computers with these amazing freaking graphics cards, we got SSDs, solid state drives. I want to see a big real-time strategy run and look really well. And nobody has been able to do that for me. And it's kind of driving me a little crazy. So I am excited for the Warhammer element of this, and I'll probably pick it up regardless. But I want to see like a whole, like, I'm not talking about like, oh God, what's the giant? Like a total war
Shogun
game.
Total War.
Where there's like thousands of people on the screen. But it's like, I want to be able to have like a decent sized army with good gameplay and everything like that. So, I think the engine that I saw looked like an old engine with the dials turned up rather than a new engine that we can do new things with. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want one of these games to really up the character models to make them look like even like little toys or something.
Yeah.
Like you're playing on a tabletop.
Yeah.
Um, but Warhammer, I think I'm so happy that there's so much Warhammer, because it really has like every type of game that you could want covered. Great first person shooter, horde shooter, great tactics games, great action games. Rogue Trader, I hear, is like on par with Baldur's Gate 3 in terms of
I have some friends who are really into that game.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's just really cool that they are cranking out games at this speed and like under this sort of growing universe. And I feel like in 10 years time, we're going to be talking so much more about Warhammer. It is going to be like a big tentpole thing because I feel like it's growing.
It is,
even from where it was like 5 years ago.
100%. I think it is. Yeah. If they were on the stock market, buy that stock, but I don't believe that they are. All right. At this point in the live show, we kind of got into a lot of the more indie, like specialized market stuff, some Japanese titles. Onimusha, Way of the Sword was next on the stage. I don't know as much about a lot of these games that were announced in this section. Phil, are you familiar with these?
I'm familiar with Onimusha. The rest of them, not quite my jam. But Onimusha is like, if you remember playing Resident Evil 1 through 4 back in the day, Onimusha came out at the same time and was like, it was made by Capcom, and it was a character who was a samurai trapped in like an old village where the dead were coming back to life, and you were like fighting them and yokai / demons or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was all really, really cool, like not quite Devil May Cry action combat, but still you were chaining combos together, you were blocking, but it added that horror element where you had to be very careful with when you blocked and when you dodged and everything. I remember a lot of positive vibes from this game, so I'm excited to see a new Onimusha because it has been, like Legacy of Kain, Onimusha is one of those things that everybody's like, can we get a new one of these, please? Like, we all have fond memories, so just do it. So, excited for it. But besides that, Arknights Enfield does not look like anything. That's the next game on the list. Arknights Enfield.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nothing.
well, we're gonna skip some of them just because we have a limited amount of time on the show. But I would say the next big announcement, they showed off the Fallout Season 2 teaser, which I'll be honest, I've been blown away by how quickly they've been able to film the Season 2 of Fallout. So it looks great. I'm gonna watch it. I've talked about it on the podcast before. I think the Fallout show is better than the games. That's just my opinion. So I'm very excited to see it. And we got to see some of the actors there. Not Walter Goggins, because he's too hot of a commodity right now. But yeah, very cool. Next up is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, getting some story DLC. You got to be happy about this, Phil.
Yeah, noted Indiana Jones fan. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me just talk to Bethesda real quick. Bethesda, can you freaking stop it and just make Skyrim 2 or whatever you're gonna call it? This is ridiculous. No one wants to play as Indiana Jones. We have Nathan Drake and Tomb Raider and every other video game character ever. Just make me play as a Khajiit in a war. Thank you.
But you liked this game. You wanted... No.
Not Skyrim 2. It's
not the Elder Scrolls. It's Skyrim
not Elder Scrolls
2.
6. Yeah, listen, I'm happy this game's getting story DLC. I do feel like it just kind of came out and kerplopped as I think a AAA coming to Game Pass will do, unless it is a great multiplayer game or something really special. And I just think that this game doesn't quite have the sauce. It's like this game would have been Game of the Year in 2018, but currently it just doesn't really hold water to like what else is coming out right now. So
sure, okay, well, fair enough.
Take that,
Yeah,
Indiana Jones.
kabam.
Take that, Harrison Ford.
Speaking of take that, Deadpool is back. So we got another trailer for the Deadpool VR game, and we also got the insight that it is going to be exclusively on the Meta Quest. So that's cool. Sucks that I have a Quest 2 and not a Quest 3, and it's not going to be able to run on the Quest 2. So,
wow.
yeah, but that's Facebook being Facebook. I mean, Meta, the same darn thing.
Same demon.
I don't know. I don't know that I want like a Deadpool VR game. I wasn't blown away when the trailer was announced. I think it's fine. I think it's just Meta being like, how can we capitalize on a good IP right now? And somebody pitched them Deadpool, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. So are you excited for this at all? You're probably not going to play it, right?
Oh, no way. No, I think if I had a MetaQuest 3, I don't think I'd play this. So, I think that I don't know. I don't want this game per se. I think that like superhero, like fatigue is a thing, as someone who's like a big fan of superhero stuff, superhero content. This game doesn't really like scream Deadpool. It just sort of seems like there are all those VR games where you can like impale somebody's head on your sword and then throw it at somebody else, like the sort of physics simulators, but where it's combat. And this just seems like they tried to put a story on that and use Neil Patrick Harris's charm to like bridge the gap.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like it's doing anything special to make you really feel like Deadpool.
Sure. You know? Yeah, fair enough. All right. Next up, World of Tanks 2.0. Now, you may be asking, is this another World of Tanks? No, this is an update to the current World of Tanks, which is super, super exciting. The game, like, I've never played World of Tanks, but I've watched a lot of gameplay for it. It looks better in every single way. The graphics look better. The UI looks better. The gameplay looks better. I didn't particularly care for the trailer, to be honest. I thought the trailer was a little bland. But they've actually posted more content that they showed on this that they didn't show on the stage, as far as like gameplay and stuff like that. And it looks really good. The gameplay, just the raw gameplay, looks really, really good. So I'm not a big tanks guy. You know, I get enough tanks in Battlefield 6 for me. But if you are super into that, you got to be excited about this. So
yeah, it is what 2.0. So probably like Fortnite went through its big changes. It is almost like updating the engine and a bunch of stuff for it. That sounds great. I know World of Tanks is very popular. You want to know how I know it's popular? That as a free-to-play game, I don't see really crappy YouTube ads for it. I just know it exists because it's a good game.
Yep. Right on. Speaking of a good game, I'm hopeful for this. So this is, let's see, it's John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. This is a co-op. It's a Left 4 Dead-like. We should just say that. It's a Left 4 Dead-like, and when there's zombies and there's guns, Paul's on board, because that is
because it lets you get some stuff out.
Yes, So I loved Back 4 Blood. Nobody else wanted to play it, but I had a great time with it. So if this is another game that gives that genre a chance, I am in. So it looked really cool. It looked like you could do a lot of unique things with the weapons and everything like that. I liked the fact that the missions seemed like they were laid out objectives, which kind of reminded me of Left 4 Dead a little bit, where it's like, oh, you have to get this bridge to come down, or you have to find the card key to, something like that, instead of just running through the level constantly. And it looked like, oh, we have to get these vehicles across, this river or something like that. And you have to figure out how to do that. So I like that it's a zombie game, but it's also at the same time objective based, not just kill as much as you possibly can. So
yeah.
Hopefully
better than that. I can't even Sector 49 or whatever that game was.
Yes.
That was based in the
Firebreak.
Boring building game universe. Yeah, Firebreak.
Yeah, there you go. We're not going to talk about that again. Never bring.
We
that
don't
up.
talk about that game.
They don't talk about it. They're ashamed, as we talked about.
As they are smart to be.
Yes.
I always get a little bit nervous when I see a old filmmaker's name on a game, but also
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe cool.
I mean, Tom Clancy.
True, but also all the books.
Yeah, all the books.
So Death by Scrolling is a game that was announced. It's got Super Nintendo Zelda like aesthetic, and it is a game about moving ever upwards, kind of like Vampire Survivors, but seemingly a little bit different. But you're moving upwards as the screen continues to move downwards, so you have to like navigate enemies, fight them, move around like obstacles on the land. And it's like almost it seems like a roguelike, like you will die and then you will try to run again and you'll get different items and build up your character stats that way. Seems really clever. Like this is the type of game that I will probably play for hours on my phone or wherever I have access to it. Because it's just that one more run rush,
Yeah, absolutely. It looks really addicting.
It does.
So I definitely get that vibe. I'd love to play this on my phone. I think it'd be a great phone game, something like that. Okay, the next game, Zero Parades, is we didn't really see any gameplay for this. If I remember correctly, when I was watching the live, it was a lot of like just showing the art that they used to design for the game, the concept art, and then they did show off a cinematic trailer. And so we really don't know a whole lot about it, to be perfectly honest, other than that it has been announced and it's coming out. I will say that this futuristic 80s tech style, I think, is very much coming back right now, as far as like in video games, like with Intergalactic that Naughty Dog is working on, as well as other media. And it's very interesting to see because it's kind of like our version, like the 2025 version of like the Star Wars aesthetic at the time, where it's like everything's high tech, but there's all these buttons, everything's analog at the same time. And so it's kind of like half, it's like Star Wars and Cyberpunk had a baby, I guess, is somewhere in there. Does that make sense when I say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks about right, and I think that's a pretty cool aesthetic to mix.
Yeah.
Definitely also interesting in the fact that we're getting the new Naughty Dog game, Heretic Prophet. That seems to have like kind of a similar, but more, I guess, soda pop aesthetic, I would say.
You
yeah,
watching
it's
K-pop
just
Demon
cool.
Hunters? What are you soda popping?
I'm always watching K-pop Demon Hunters. It's just playing on a loop in my brain. But yeah, I like that this aesthetic is sort of making its way back into games. It's sort of like, Aliens was a great, or Alien/Aliens was a great example of this aesthetic where, everything was kind of green and blocky and analog looking, but very futuristico.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, next game up, we got Ninja Gaiden 4. This was, I'll be honest, a little disappointing for me, because what this showed me is that, okay, the remastered Ninja Gaiden that you guys did, that's the engine that you're designing the game in. And so it just kind of looked, the art style looked a little old, like they were afraid to change anything a little bit. So, however, I will say I understand when it comes to Ninja Gaiden games, you want that frame rate to be crispy smooth. That does make sense. That's very
crispy smooth is right. You ever lick a piece of fried chicken? You know what I'm talking about.
Just so smooth. But you know what I mean, where it's like you got to have those 60 frames because he's diving around, the sword is spinning, he's throwing out the metal whip, and he's jumping and he's cutting and everything. So you want that high frame rate. But I guess I wanted to see the art style evolve a little bit, and that doesn't mean it needs to look completely different, but for me it just meant like make the graphics look better or change something about this. Just seems like more of the same. So
crazy that we're getting kind of two Ninja Gaiden games. There's the 2D game that is a very like departure for the modern series, but call back to what it used to be.
that's a good point.
And now this, and there's not really necessarily like a new version of Ninja Gaiden. It's just two different old versions of Ninja Gaiden.
Yes.
Gaiden coming back,
yes,
which is interesting.
All right. Next up, Cinder City. I didn't care for this at all, to be honest. Sorry, Cinder City. It looked like a very generic third person shooter. It looked really clunky. It kind of reminded me of that free to play game that came out, I want to say earlier this year, with the voluptuous ladies. And so that's what it really reminded me of. Maybe I'm wrong, and this is really fun, but everything about this trailer just was generic for me.
Yeah.
So
it looks like a slightly fancier version of not fancier, but I guess like a less realistic version of The Division.
Sure. Yeah.
Where it's very similar, like third person shooting and kind of cover based shooting and everything, but you're fighting bosses, but then there's also vehicles and equipment and like zombies. So I think there's a possibility that I could get some people into this game and like have a cool little squad to run around with.
Sure.
But yeah, it also looks like it could be vaporware, which would be crazy to see on the Gamescom stage for sure, but it has a nice vaporware sort of like whiff to it, you know?
Right. Yeah. I agree. So I don't know. Let me know if you play it, if you get it, and I don't know if you'll really want a squad though at the end of the day.
Better be free.
All right. Next up, Time Takers, otherwise known as Concord. I mean, Time Takers. It started off. The trailer starts off with like a medieval knight, I think, drinking ale or something like that. And he's pulled out of his time stream, and he's plunged into a world with different characters from different timelines, doing different character shooter type things. Didn't really care for this either. It's just felt like a very generic. You have a bunch of character designers on your team. They design different characters. You put them in an arena. They're trying to kill each other. That's what it felt like. So I'll say like the graphics and animation looked quite good. And I hope it's able to do some original things, but it just felt, blah, blah, blah.
Who knows if we will take the time for Time Takers, but I will tell you, if you go ahead and spam an F in the chat for Silent Hill F, that's the next game on the list. Looks... Okay, here's what I will say about Silent Hill games. I don't think I'll ever play one, because I like in horror games when you become the monster. I always say this, it is the best part of the game, that when as Isaac Clarke in Dead Space 2, you open a door and there's a monster. And by this point you leveled up so much, you just see it, and it sees you, and it knows that you are going to ruin its day and stomp it to a million pieces. That is the best part, when you become the thing chasing the things chasing you.
Yeah.
And Silent Hill games never have that. They just have like, you got a stick, but you are fighting a tooth maw with chainsaw mouth.
Yeah, I'm terrified of Silent Hill stuff. So I love that that feeling you're talking about from Dead Space. And I will say it's a little funny that you say that, because I actually felt that one of Sony's new games that they debuted, Chronos: The New Dawn, which is another game on the list. Also, La Divina Commedia was announced. So we're gonna skip over that one. Talk about it in your own time. But Chronos gave me. At first, I thought that this was the game that this was the studio that did Returnal, and then I was mistaken. This is not the same game. And so Chronos: The New Dawn, it felt very Dead Spacey, but like you're more of a badass than Isaac. You're like Isaac in the third game. You're like, okay, I know the drill. So it looked pretty cool. It looked like the horror genre without like making you afraid of everything. So more of like that suspense action genre a little bit, and that genre I can I can F with a little bit. So I don't know. How did you feel about Chronos?
I feel the same way. It looks like Dead Space. It looks like a
Dead
spiritual
Space.
successor to Dead Space.
Yeah.
But it does seem, even by the name alone, you can tell it is doing some different type of horror where it feels like cosmic time horror-y stuff.
Yes.
And that I am very deeply into. I think that is a fun place to explore because as someone who is like, you're going to be able to punch your way through a lot of problems, the fact that like there are very few rules will be an interesting and jarring thing to play through. So
Yeah.
September 5th, we don't have to wait that long for
Right?
Chronos.
Yeah, that's like
Very
16
cool.
days, 17 days away. That's crazy. All right. Next up, The Outer Worlds 2 got another trailer. We've got a lot of trailers for The Outer Worlds now. Again, as a reminder, it's coming out October 29th, but this was the Companions trailer. So it looks like you'll be getting 6 companions in the game. Which is pretty interesting. I think they poked fun at the fact that you can't sleep with any of your companions in the game. You can't romance them. So that is a little silly. But yeah, I think that they looked pretty cool. I will say like a couple of the companions look a little like similar or like a little redundant. So which is not something I usually say when it comes to RPG companions. I guess one of the problems with the Outer Worlds is that there's no like aliens. So you can't have like an alien character, and so I guess for the diversity, they're like, oh, we're gonna throw in a robot.
Yeah.
So which was okay. So
Yeah, it looks very like I like that their humor shines through in this trailer.
yeah,
And I like that they show you like what the characters play like. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Having companions is always kind of a tricky thing to have. These almost seem like they show up at a certain time and do certain things.
mm-hmm.
Not to be, it seems like they are probably going to be very capable and not get in your way.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hopefully, we'll see how the AI.
That's the dream. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Inzoi, the Sims-like game that has been doing to an okay start. Hasn't sold a crazy amount yet, but they've announced a free DLC/update called Inzoi Island Getaway. It's going to be coming out tomorrow, so you can check that out. So there's a new map and there's tons of new activities that you can do. And honestly, they hinted at a lot of different things in the trailer. At one point, I saw somebody in a prison uniform, so I was like, can you go to prison in this game?
What did they invent in this game that you can go to prison for? I really like, or my favorite part of the trailer is when one of the developers walks on screen and says, "We promise we're not stealing your identity when you play this game. We promise that we're not going into your computer and taking out files to create an elaborate scheme of stealing credit card numbers. Just play this new Sims game."
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to like the girl petting a cat or whatever.
Yep. But now that he said that, I'm so suspicious.
I wasn't suspicious until then. No, this game seems like a Ponzi scheme or an Inzoi scheme.
Right.
Maybe they'll change the name after a few years.
Yeah, perhaps. All right. Next up, let's jump to Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault. This game caught my eye. I never played Moonlighter 1, but I think this game looks really cool. I love the engine that it's built in. It kind of reminds me of the engine that Temtem uses, which is the Chinese Pokemon-like game. So I love the engine. I love the gameplay. It's like, oh, you can do building and collecting, but it's also an adventuring game, and it just seems like a really cool top-down adventure game. So this definitely caught my eye, and it was not on my radar at all.
I played a good amount of Moonlighter 1, probably like 10 or 15 hours. It's a really fun game, especially if you like Binding of Isaac style, boss run, what's the right word? Roguelike games.
Right.
It's very cool because you're collecting items and collecting like things that can help you in the runs, and then you take them back to your store and sell them to people. And there is also a mechanic in the game for like bartering and how much people will like. You can change and affect the market on certain items, which is really really cool.
Yeah.
So this looks great. It's cool that they're changing up the visual style because before it was more of like a Super Nintendo or Game Boy Advance looking game. So cool to see it advance.
Absolutely. Yeah. Looks really cool. I might pick it up. It's not. That's. I wonder how much it is. I don't think they said anything. How much was the first one, Phil? Do you remember?
Maybe like $30. So
$30.
I'm thinking this one might be similarly priced.
Okay, cool. All right. Next up, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. This was the cover game for this month's Game Informer, which is back as a reminder to everyone. So yeah, this kind of came out of nowhere for me. Bloodlines, the original one came out the same year as Halo 2. So it's been a minute since that's happened. And it was a very good year for games, especially because Halo 2 came out, and that game's a classic. But
that brought up the bell curve for sure.
Yeah, it definitely got drowned out by other big profile games that released at that time. So I was really surprised to see that they were making a second one of this. I will say, from what I read in the Game Informer article and from what I've seen for this trailer, it looks really good. It looks like it's got great presentation. It looks like they took their time with the cutscenes. Like the cinematography is really, really there, which makes a difference when you're leaning into a story game like this. And I have to say, it really reminds me of, oh my God, I can't remember the name of those like sneaky games.
Thief.
No, not Thief, but like where you get different powers. Dishonored. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Oh, Phil, you got me. It reminded me of Dishonored, and you know what? I was like watching this gameplay, and I was like, I think Dishonored should have been a vampire game. I think that is the vehicle for that kind of gameplay, and I think that's what exactly this is. So I think it's got big possibility. Again, this is another game really wasn't on my radar until I saw it on the cover of Game Informer. But it might be something to pay attention to, especially because it's coming out in 1 month. So
yeah. Oh, sorry. I think it's set to launch October 21st. So 2 months.
Oh yes, I keep thinking October is 1 month away. I keep thinking
September always gets lost for me.
Yeah,
it's a weird one.
Thank you.
I will say I played a lot of the first Bloodlines on a PC that could barely run it back in the day.
Yeah.
It was a really, really cool game. I always had a theory that the cab driver that drops you off was Kane, which is a whole thing. But Vampire the Masquerade was like the first pen and paper RPG I played a lot of. And what I feel like as I watched this trailer, like it reminded me of definitely Dishonored, but it kind of also reminded me of Cyberpunk. And if they can nail that feeling of making it like an RPG where you play as different clans, different types of vampires that have different power sets, and it allows you to approach obstacles using those different power sets in unique ways. Excellent. I'm so in. I did hear some distressing news about this game from the game's Reddit, and I don't have the source, but it does appear that the game will also require a cash payment to get some of the other clans unlocked in the game. So there are, which is just if you're looking at D&D, a clan is kind of like your character class. It allows you to do all sorts of different abilities and access them. So while I am tentatively excited, I'm also like, hey, watch yourself.
I'm curious if this is a full price game, because if it's not a full price game, maybe I don't care about that. So
I think $30 would be the like magic place for this to
so this
make
is
you buy extra stuff.
This is a $60 game. So it is under the standard 70, soon to be 80. So that's fine. I'm curious. Yeah, if you get the deluxe edition, which is 70, I don't know. I can't tell if it actually comes with the other clans. So we'll have to see about that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And disappointing. All right. Enshrouded is getting a big update, very popular survival crafting game. And the update is called The Wake of the Water. And that has been teased for an October release. This is the 7th major update for Enshrouded. The game has continued to get better, and it really teases a brand new environment, brand new technology that you can use. Looks like a brand new enemy faction where they kind of look like crocodile men or lizard men or something like that, with its own like culture and biome. So everything looks cool, and also there's lots of water gameplay. Where you're playing with waterfalls, you're swimming underwater. So I'm sure they'll continue to add things there. Enshrouded, the big problem I've had with Enshrouded has always been the user interface when it comes to like building and stuff like that, and just that the grind is a little steep for my liking.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I'm playing V Rising with a big group of people, is like we can help alleviate some of that survival crafting grind and actually get to some of the fun stuff. So yeah, but happy that they're still working on the game and continuing to make it better. And it does look like an actual major update here.
Yeah. So. This game seems like in 5 years, it's going to be one of the biggest, like, yeah, I'm trying to think, what's that game, Apex Survival or whatever, where you're riding around the dinosaurs? Ark Survival.
Ark Survival.
Like, it seems they're just going to keep working on it and adding new stuff. There's a cool moment in the trailer where a character shoots their bow, an arrow at a wall, and it breaks open and water floods in. Mm-hmm. And if that's like in engine, holy smokes, that's such a big sell for the game.
Yeah.
Like, it looks beautiful.
It looked great. Yeah, absolutely. All right, next up. Kingdom Come Deliverance had an announcement trailer for one of its DLCs, Legacy of the Forge. I have to say I had my problems with Kingdom Come Deliverance just because of how hardcore a game it was. But one thing I absolutely loved was working in the Forge. And when I heard that whistle and that smack of that hammer, I was like, oh, crap. So, like, I might re-download it just for this because that's what I want. I want, like, a little Forge simulator.
I just want to work at the Forge. I don't even want to fight anymore. It's annoying to fight.
The fighting in that game is not that good. Like, I understand why people like it ish, and I do like you do have to kind of do the For Honor parry and everything like that, and the directional pad. But yeah, I more liked walking around and interacting in the world than doing the fighting in that game. So. Mm-hmm. So yeah, moving right along, Cult of the Lamb is getting a major expansion, Woolhaven. I did not know Cult of the Lamb existed, but I love the art style.
Oh, you haven't played Cult of the Lamb?
I have not, and it looks like I missed out because it looked incredible.
You and your partner need to play that game because it is partially an action combat, like, roguelike. It's the third time in the show I've been like, what is the game? Roguelike, where you go and fight gods and you make these different runs, but then you return to your base, which is full of your cult, and they have you do stuff for them, and you can marry multiple members of your cult, and sometimes they have requests of you, like, fetch me a bowl of poop to eat, and you do that.
Okay.
It's such a cute, weird, dark game.
Is this the Castle Crashers people?
I don't. It's Massive Monster, so yeah, it is actually.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I
really good game.
Yeah.
So I would suggest checking that out if any of what I said was interesting to you.
It was. Is it a co-op game so me and my partner can play at the same time?
So there was an update that made it a co-op game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, pressing right along, we got a fancy, shiny looking World of Warcraft trailer. World of Warcraft Midnight, which is centered around the elves in World of Warcraft. Yeah, very beautiful trailer. Say what you will about World of Warcraft in 2025, but they always make amazing trailers. So it was a spectacle. Even if you're not into World of Warcraft, it's worth watching the cinematic because it just is pretty peak. Really
high fantasy,
high fidelity, like beautiful looking stuff. So, when's the last time you played World of Warcraft, Phil?
Oh, probably a dog's age, like serious 15 years.
Okay. Fair enough. We can press on. Project Spectrum got announced as well. This was interesting in that it like kind of seemed. Is this maybe I'm thinking of the wrong game? Where it's like a co-op game where you're playing against people or you're with people, but then you turn into the demon and back. Am I thinking of the right game here?
You're thinking of the Hunt.
I'm thinking of the Hunt. My bad.
Yeah. Which this looks kind of like it. I mean, that's a co-op and a team versus team multiplayer game.
Right.
Honestly, even their Project Spectrum, like their presentation of their logo looks a lot like Shadow's the Hunt. Maybe it is a modern version of it because Shadow the Hunt takes place in like the early 1900s and you're playing in very rural backwaters. But A, that game is beautiful. B, the interesting thing about that game is when you lose all of your skills and items that you got from like killing a cool old witch go away. Like it is a proper reset if you die one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. But apparently it didn't stand out enough for me to identify it. Next game is Heat. I don't know. This was weird because we got it's World of Tanks Heat. Sorry. World of Tanks Heat. This is interesting because there were 2 tank games announced, and I was like, wow, this is the tank genre is exploding from 1 to 2, and so
now correct me if I'm wrong. They're both World of Tanks, right? World of Tanks 2.0 and then World of Tanks Heat.
I don't understand the distinction. Is where I was confused. Because it was interesting because in the World of Tanks 2.0. I didn't really like the trailer. And then in this, I did like the trailer, but they showed off like a little bit of gameplay at the end. It's like, oh, it doesn't look like it's running that well. So I think this is just a spin-off game or something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. So the thing that clues me in on that is it's available to play on Steam Deck, PS5, and Xbox. So it's like this seems like this is the console, even though you can play World of Tanks on console. This seems like the console version, the more like Fortnite-y, PUBG leaning version of World of Tanks. So, yeah.
And it says that this one is more of a hero shooter. So I think it's like instead of customizing your tank like crazy, you are playing from a series.
You're playing Bobby. Twisted
yeah,
Metal.
Bobby,
yeah,
the tank from World War II, and Kenneth, one of the other tanks from World War II. We stopped using tanks a lot.
Yeah.
I know we're nearing the end of the time here, so we're
going
speed through this next one. Resident Evil Requiem world premiere isn't gameplay footage. It is like story footage, a bit of gameplay, but it's cool. It looks like a sequel to Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8.
Yes.
Which were really fun and inventive, redefinitions of the genre. They are horror in a different way than Resident Evil 4 was. Because Resident Evil 4 has that Dead Space thing. By the end of it, Leon's kicking bullets and throwing knives into space or whatever. This one, you are playing as, I believe, the little girl that you rescued in Resident Evil 8. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm very confused.
And
who she is.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see, how this continuing story involves about how this character you played as a father, then their child, seeing that development across a Resident Evil horror game is a pretty cool take in my book.
Yeah, totally. All right. Ghost of Yote was at the show as well. We got a little bit of a cinematic scene that we've kind of seen before. We just haven't seen that part of it before. There wasn't really a lot of new information shared, but there was one key thing, is that they confirmed that Legends, the multiplayer mode from Ghost of Tsushima, would be returning to Ghost of Yote. And as well as that, it will be coming in 2026. It's the exact same thing they did for Ghost of Tsushima, where it was about 6 months after the launch of the game, they released the multiplayer mode for it. If you do buy Ghost of Yote, the multiplayer mode is free. It's just not coming at launch. So you do not have to pay something separate for it. So yeah, so very cool. And then last but not least, the finale of the show was a new game announced, or sorry, it was a new game, Black Myth Song Kui Adventure, which, yes, is God, I'm losing my train of thought here, Phil. Help me out for a second.
Yeah, so this is the Black Myth Wukong people. It seems like what they did with Black Myth Wukong was they took the story of Wukong and like kind of ran it through Christopher Nolan / Dark Souls filter and produced a game that was very visually stunning, but also not. I will say the story was relatively engaging, but the combat got kind of old quick, despite being pretty well in depth. But this is, I think, following another mythical figure, Kongzui. So I am excited to see what they cook up, because, I mean, it feels like Black Myth Wukong just came out recently. I know it was last year.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this is an announcement. It's not coming out this year. It's probably not coming out next year. But I think they'll probably use the same engine or something like that. The trailer was really interesting. I didn't really care for the banter at the beginning. I don't think that really added anything to the scene, other than trying to establish, things are normal, and then they're not normal. Yeah.
It looked a lot like a Love, Death, and Robots or Secret Level.
Yes.
Like,
very much
thing.
So. Yes.
Which I'm excited to see more of that.
Yeah.
I guess that probably brings us, or is that the end of our news stories?
Pretty much, except that I don't think we brought this up, that Helldivers 2 has confirmed it's going to be getting a Halo ODST Warbond. You can check out the trailer right now. We're getting it. The standard Halo assault rifle is coming to Helldivers, so that's pretty awesome. And it's going to be coming out when it comes out on Xbox on August 26th. So
I'm not gonna lie, I don't usually get excited about like guns in video games, but that assault rifle is different. That assault rifle feels special when you use it in Halo.
Yeah.
And if they make it feel right in this game, I'm very excited.
Hell yeah. So then, yeah, that takes us to the end of all of the, at least the main stage Gamescom announcements. We'll probably get some more news that trickles out here, including that Silksong trailer, and we will be talking about that next week. But yeah, what did you think overall of Gamescom, Phil? Yeah, yay, nay?
This is the best game show that there is now.
Yes.
There is no more E3.
Yes.
And the tree houses and PlayStation Directs kind of now are just like, check out this new F1 game, or check out Kirby Racing. I don't care. Guys, I clicked a video. So this is a bit of a tangent. I clicked a video on Kirby Superstar Racing, and it said that it was 37 minutes long, and I audibly at work in my break room said the F word. This is a crime. They need to stop. They need to be stopped. And Gamescom is the person who's stopping them, because they're just like, here's a bunch of cool games.
Yeah.
I will say, one other thing I've seen from Gamescom is Crimson Desert gameplay footage.
Yeah.
Is out and about, which is cool, because that game
looks amazing.
Looks really, really cool. Yeah. But because it looks so cool, I'm like, this might be vaporware.
Right.
But the gameplay is real. It exists, and I think that means we might be getting this game in the next year or two. So, very excited about that.
Yeah, I've been seeing Crimson Desert stuff trickle out for like 2 years now. So I'm happy that it's at Gamescom. That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone, to episode 89 of the GGG Podcast. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. And if you're listening to the audio-only version on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, follow us over there as well. Yay! Video game news this week. Ha ha ha.
Did you mean to say it like a ghost?
Yeah, I think I was going
follow us over there as well.
Yes, like a spirit in Expedition 33 or something.
I like that. Okay.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.